Welcome back to Shaun Vlog, and if you're new here, please subscribe down below. This video is going to be all about our favourite table service restaurants at Walt Disney World, excluding signature restaurants. We're going to do a separate video that you'll see next week on those. So where should we start? What table service restaurants have we done in Magic Kingdom? I've not done any, but you have, I think.
I have. I've done
Cinderella's Royal Table?
Yes, thank you. I've done that, but it was on Christmas Day.
Was that good? Was it magical? Was it Christmassy?
Nope. They and.
Can I stop you there though?
Yeah.
That's a signature bit.
Oh. You said it!
Tune in next week to find out more about Cinderella's Royal Table.
You were the one that said it, not me.
Oh dear me. Right, okay. Any other table service in Magic Kingdom? We haven't done any. No. Crystal Palace we wouldn't mind trying. But Skipper Canteen is probably the one that we will try. But again, that's a signature, right? So, moving on. Epcot.
Swiftly.
Yes, Epcot. So what table service have we done in Epcot?
So.
Rose and Crown.
Yes, I've done Rose and Crown 3 times.
I've done it once. Can't really remember it, so it mustn't have been that good.
Every time we've been, it's been lovely. Food, I've never had a complaint about the food. The fish batter's always been amazing. The best view I've had was when I went with Mum and Dad, and we were overlooking
The lagoon.
I couldn't get the words out there. Overlooking the lagoon. It was during the day, and it was absolutely lovely. Service has always been fab, whether we've been for food or drink. I have not had an issue with Rose and Crown.
Drinks are good in there, but yeah, food, I can't really remember. It was 2012 when I last went there, and it's somewhere that
You were quite tired in the evening as well.
Yeah, I think the food was fine, but it's not somewhere that ever really goes on our list of places to visit because you can get the food at home, and it's very expensive for what you get. And yes, I know in the grand scheme of things, compared to all the other table service restaurants, it's not. But we know the cost of that food here, and it just seems my brain can't process that to the price that you pay over there.
The one good thing about it is what I said, is the view. It's a great place to watch the fireworks on an evening if you can have your food there.
Absolutely.
That's the one plus about it.
That's Rose and Crown. Restaurant Marrakesh. I was just thinking, have we done any in France? But no, we haven't done any in France. Restaurant Marrakesh in Morocco.
The entertainment was great.
Yeah, belly dancing. Who doesn't love a belly dancer?
The food was...
Sorry, the food was okay.
The food was okay. We've had probably better Moroccan food.
Definitely.
Yeah, food was okay. Ambiance was fine.
Yeah, it was an interesting evening that we had there because people we were with, Dave, got lost
because of our Karen.
Yeah.
Who got lost. Who wasn't meant to be coming, then she was coming, then she wasn't, then she was. It was an interesting evening. Yeah, food.
But the food was there. The food was all right.
Price-wise, do you think it's good for the cost?
Reasonable price. So yeah, that was Restaurant Marrakesh.
Not somewhere that
I wouldn't go back.
to go back to. But yeah, it was definitely nice. Nothing majorly to complain about. Just. Yeah.
Moving round the world showcase. Tepanido is the next one.
Tepanido, I thoroughly enjoyed my food. We've had better, but the food was good. I had no problem with it. Service was fine.
Yeah.
The chef, we've had better chefs before.
The chef was really, really poor. Because we know what the chefs in teppanyaki restaurants can do, but not just that. The other chefs in that restaurant, we could see what they were doing, and they were much better. Our chef just didn't want to be there. It kind of felt like the food was absolutely fine. It wasn't bad. It wasn't anything special. It was just fine.
The drinks were fine.
Yeah.
Our food got stolen by the guy from Essex, I think it was.
Which goes to show that the chef wasn't very good because he didn't pay attention to who he was giving food to.
No, it was the girl who brought it was my food.
Oh, the starters.
The starters.
The service was very good then.
She brought the starters out and gave it to the wrong person. And I was waiting for it still.
Yeah.
Yeah, ambience was fine, but too noisy.
It's very, very noisy in there. I would go back though. I would go back. The price was pretty reasonable.
I think that night as well.
But it's definitely low down on the list of all teppanyaki Japanese grill style restaurants that we've been to. But we've never really had a bad one. So the fact that it's lower down doesn't really mean anything. It was still okay.
Yeah.
Still good.
And I think that night you weren't very well either.
I was just very tired when we went.
You were feeling very sick that night.
Yeah. But I'll happily go back. So that's Teppanyaki. Moving further around the World Showcase, I think the next restaurant is in the Mexico Pavilion.
San Angel.
San Angel Angel Inn. Is that what it's called? Something like that.
Food was fine. I had no problem with the food.
Food again was fine. But
we've had better Mexican
in Mexico and outside of Mexico. But the food was perfectly fine. It is so dark in there though. It really is very, very dark, and it's meant to be part of the atmosphere, but it actually makes it a little bit difficult to enjoy your meal because of how dark it is, and you can't really. It's difficult to read the menus and all that kind of stuff. But the food was quite nice.
The best thing about it was the margarita flight, which Ant certainly partaked in.
Yeah, margaritas. You can't go wrong with margaritas in the Mexico Pavilion. That's the reason you go in there. Really?
Yeah.
And we do anyway.
What was your best?
Really do like the restaurant that overlooks the start of the Grand Fiesta tour featuring the Three Caballeros ride. Where you're overlooking the pyramid. Apparently the pyramid and the volcano goes at points, but I've never seen it.
What was your favourite part of the meal?
Did I pay for it?
Yes, I think so. I can't remember.
I was going to say not paying for it.
I can't remember.
The best part of the meal was the company and the margaritas.
Yeah, Tres Leche, which wasn't Tres Leche.
Oh, we're not talking about that ice cream that wasn't ice cream, that wasn't Tres Leches. Let's not talk about it. Let's move on. So that's all of the table service that we've done around the World Showcase. And there's only one other one that we've done, Garden Grill.
Yes.
Which is in the Land Pavilion. Garden Grill. That is hands down one of the best breakfasts on property. One of the best character meals on property. We're going to do a separate video on character meals, so watch out for that one. But we've only done breakfast. I would like to try lunch, probably not dinner. And the reason I wouldn't want to try dinner is because of the cost. Because the food, from what I've seen, is pretty much the same as lunch. So I'd rather pay the lunch price than the dinner price. Because I don't like paying all those high prices. I think it can get quite high. But that's why we went for breakfast.
Contrary to belief, Shaun isn't rich.
No. Not when you go. Not after you've been to Disney. I'm not. Garden Grill. The characters: Chip and Dale, Pluto, and Mickey. Fantastic character meets. Although when we first met Dale, the character was the friend of Dale was a bit off. So we don't know. But the other time, others were really, really good. And then Dale came back and was fantastic. And the food, that cinnamon bun, the sausage. Tell you what you've got to try. Sausages dipped in chocolate.
Yes.
Thanks, Holly.
Yeah, Holly dared the boys to try the sausage dipped in the chocolate sauce.
She didn't need to dare me again. It was delicious. Tell you what else was nice as well. Your
veg patty, breakfast patty.
Your breakfast patty, which was like
good.
a Beyond patty for a vegan thing, was really, really nice. So yeah, that breakfast in there is fantastic.
The only problem I've got with going there is the cost of it.
Don't give me problems.
Well, I know it is, because I don't need a great deal, and they bring a lot out for one person, and I feel like it gets wasted, and I don't like wasting food. That's my biggest issue about food on property and food in America in general. If you're a small eater or have stomach problems, the food is just too much, and I hate waste.
And that's why I'm hardly as fat as I am, because I have to eat her food.
You don't eat my food. Very rare.
Well, you normally like force it in my mouth.
Jason ate some of my food last trip.
Yeah.
But you very rare eat it. Normally Dad would eat it if he was there with us.
Just the two of us. Garden Grill doesn't work out financially viable, so I have to really, really want it if we wouldn't go just the two of us. because Caroline just doesn't eat very much, so it's all down to me.
It's not. It's not
So
that
can
don't
I
want to
eat
I can't.
$120 worth of food and meet some characters? That's the key thing. But that's Garden Grill, and I really want to go back there for breakfast and lunch and dinner if someone else is paying. That's Epcot. Table services all around Epcot. Hollywood Studios. We've done Mama Melrose.
Yes, we did Mama Melrose. Minestrone soup was nice.
Yeah.
My pizza was fine. Just too much.
Dave enjoyed his chopino. Didn't you, Dave?
He's nodding in the background.
Yeah, the camera can really see you nodding, Dave, behind the camera. Speak!
He's gonna sneeze.
I'm trying to stop it.
So did you enjoy it, Mama Melrose?
Yes, I did.
You did?
Yes. We did the Phantasmic Dining plan in there, which is where you get 3 courses, even if you're using a table service credit on the dining plan. It's 3 courses, and you get preferential seating at Phantasmic as well.
But that really didn't work out for us properly.
No, because we had to go
the
to
disability side of it.
the disabled area, but that's fine. I think it's really good value. You get quite a lot of food, and for an in-park bog standard Italian restaurant, I think it was decent.
The server was really good.
Server
She
was fantastic.
Very knowledgeable.
Food tasted beautiful. It was not the best Italian we've been to. It's not the fanciest. It's
Park
good.
food, it's park food Italian.
No, I'd say Park Food Italian's Pizza Rizzo, which is a quick service and terrible. But
Bless you.
bless you, Dave. So Mama Melrose, that is the only table service we've done. So yeah, Hollywood Studios is kind of lacking for us in table services, a bit like Magic Kingdom. I am interested in looking at Woody's Roundup Barbecue when that opens. I think that'll be a good table service, so we'll see that one. But yeah, table service doesn't really work for us in Hollywood Studios. Moving on to Animal Kingdom. Tusker House. We went for lunch, like an early lunch, brunch lunch, early lunch. Characters, fantastic in there. Daisy stole my camera, as you saw.
That was one of the best interactions we've had.
Like, full stop, best character interactions, sit down meals ever. The food in there is pretty decent. It is slightly unusual.
It was very unusual.
Different options to what you get on other buffets and other restaurants. They need to do more of that, I think, because you're meant to be in Africa? Asia?
It was Africa. It was
Africa.
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 That's
where you're meant to be.
I personally didn't think there was a great deal for me that day. That I would personally eat. I didn't have.
You still ate quite a bit though.
I didn't have a lot. I didn't.
Well, no, for you ate quite a bit.
But I got a birthday cake and a birthday card.
You did. And lots of kisses off Goofy.
I did. He proposed again.
Yeah. So if you want an in-park character dining meal, Tusker House is the one. Tusker House and Garden Grill are the 2. But yeah, I quite enjoyed the food in there. Dave enjoyed his food.
You enjoyed yours, didn't you, Dad? What was the best interaction? Daisy duck with you. And actually, and Mickey flirted with him.
Mickey did.
Dave likes a bit of Mickey. But Tusker House, good. Yak and Yeti is really good. This is hands down one of our favourite table services, and I want to go back for a table service. I had the tikka masala, and that is a curry that I would never ever have normally, and it wasn't British tikka masala. This was African tikka masala.
It was different.
It's different.
But he
really
enjoyed
tasty,
it.
really spicy, full of flavour, just fantastic. All of the food that we had in there was
You had a taste
amazing.
of Tom's. What did he have? And you liked that as well.
I can't remember what Tom had, but all of the food that we all had, we tried it all, and it was just delicious.
Just far too big. It was huge. I had to share it with Jane, Tom, and Shaun.
And
Just so much.
they changed yours for you as well.
Yeah, they adapted it. Quite often I need to adapt the food depending on what's in it, because either I A, don't like something that's in it, or it won't help my stomach. So they adapt them, which is really good.
Yeah.
Really good. But we did have a starter, which we all had.
It was a share and platter starter, and you had the edamame.
Edamame, I love edamame.
And like the spring rolls and just everything in there was just delicious.
And you had an alcoholic drink. I had a beer. Tom had
Yeah, I
beer.
had like a weird sugary drink thing.
The beers, the drinks were all fine as well. You and Tom had puddings as well, didn't you?
Yeah.
Shared the puddings and
Mango pie. Oh, give me some of that now.
did
That was so. A dessert. I was like, I'll get it to try it because it's supposed to be good, but I don't think I really like it, and it was beautiful.
Did somebody have? I want to say orange chicken or honey chicken or something chicken.
Jane had honey chicken, I think. Yeah. Yak and Yeti. Go there. Fantastic.
Even the setting is nice. We were upstairs, but the setting, the ambience, everything, the service, everything.
Theming in there.
Everything was really, really good.
Yeah. Amazing restaurant, really. And those are the two that we've done in Animal Kingdom. Yak and Yeti being one of my favourites overall, just hands down. There are a couple we want to try. Nomad Lounge is one of them. Not Nomad Lounge, Tiffin's, which is attached to Nomad Lounge. We want to try there for food, for sit down. That's the main one that we want to try because the food there just looks fantastic. That's all the table service that we've done in the parks. Resorts. Sanaa, seeing as we're at Animal Kingdom. Sanaa, an Animal Kingdom lodge.
Bread service.
You've got to get the bread service, although it is a little bit greasy, which is all the ghee, I think. Yeah. The bread service is fantastic. All the dips. There is a secret 10th dip as well, if you ask for it, which we didn't know when we went. And we had, I think we all had the journey, didn't we?
We all had the journey. I had the veggie journey.
Where you get a rice, you choose a curry, and you choose a side. And it's all one thing. But there's loads of food on the menu in there that I'd love to try.
Again, I let the side down. I think I had two mouthfuls of mine, and I couldn't eat it.
Nothing new there.
My advice to anybody who hasn't got a big appetite: if you want to have a main, don't have the bread service. But then
ignore her. You've got to have the bread service.
No, but if you've got a small appetite, listen.
He's nodding again.
Let me finish. If you want to try the mains, like the journey, don't have the bread service.
Yes, have the bread.
But if you're not bothered about having a main, then go for the bread service, hands down.
Have 2 bread service if you can.
You can, and it's too much.
It's not.
It is.
It's not.
It's too much. Oh, and the cocktails are fine. I had spicy margaritas.
Cocktails are awesome. Puddings are awesome. Starters are awesome. Theming is awesome.
And the chair kept staring at it.
No, it was staring at me. Your dad was staring at Ian.
He was staring at all of them.
Yeah. Freaky chairs. But that's Sanaa, an Animal Kingdom lodge.
Oh, and that night, it just came
She
back
never
in
wants
my
to move
head.
on.
Just came into my head. That was the night that I found out to stop worrying about where the food goes, because the server said the food does go somewhere after and not to worry about it if you don't use it.
And we all know what that means if you've had something spicy.
But he also said, do you want to take it home? But I didn't.
No. Boma. We've been there for dinner and breakfast. And both were good.
I enjoyed the salmon.
Yes. There is lots of choice for dinner, lots of choice for breakfast. The price is pretty reasonable for Disney buffets.
I didn't eat much on the breakfast one again, but I wasn't very well that day. I had
Yeah.
a lot of coffee.
A lot of coffee. So the breakfast, there's all the usual stuff, and you've got African corned beef hash, which was nice, and a few other meats and things like that. So the breakfast is a fairly standard thing with a couple of extra dishes. But dinner, you've got the zebra domes. They were nice, very alcoholic, very potent.
I didn't have one, I don't think.
All the meats, the gravy, just oh yes.
I stuck to the salmon, and you got me something else, chickpea. You got my stuff, which there was about 3 things on my plate, but I think I tried. There wasn't a great deal I tried.
I had a couple of platefuls in Boma for dinner.
And I think on the breakfast I ate croissant, and he got us a couple of other things, and again I didn't eat them.
To Boma. Go there.
Shaun loves it.
Yeah, it's great to see out onto the pool area, as well as where you look out to from Boma. So now you look out onto the savannah, so if you get the right time, you can see the animals. But Boma's out onto the pool in Jambo House. Moving on from Animal Kingdom Lodge, let's go to the Yacht and Beach Club. Ale and Compass. We've been breakfast and lunch, not dinner.
Love the theming.
Beautiful theme and really like our style because we love Yacht Beach Club, and it fits in perfectly there. The breakfast was mediocre. I had the breakfast pizza.
You did.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember everything I ate. Breakfast pizza. There's also a buffet. You don't have to have the buffet. You can get just a main, or you can get the two together. And we did it as a joint plan for the processional, candlelight processional. We did it when that was on, but you don't. You can just buy separately, of course, if you want to. Breakfast is mediocre. Lunch, we also thought was pretty mediocre, to be honest. There's loads of potential here. Like the options are really, really good. But the food came out cold, it came out slow, it came out in the wrong order. We complained about it, the server was annoyed, but he didn't do anything to fix it and he didn't seem bothered himself. I don't know whether that was because he was overworked, I think he was the only one.
Yeah, I think the starter came out late, so that was cold. Is that the starter came out? Yeah, well, I think the starter came out late, so that was cold. Then they brought I was still eating the starter, and then they brought out the main, which was fish tacos for me, so that ended up cold.
Yeah.
I felt like we were being rushed. Don't get me wrong, the starter was lovely.
Yeah, the burger was good as well for the main.
It was just the whole service,
the
speed of
nice.
which things were coming out, it wasn't.
But the service, the temperature of the food and the speed were not the best for lunch.
It could be so much more, it really could.
I think we should give them another try. Problem is there's so many nice restaurants to go to and loads that we like, so we never really want to go back to the ones that we didn't have a great experience at.
We did conflab about this all the way to Animal Kingdom that day, about whether we would go back or we wouldn't go back.
Yeah.
Mind you, we'd had a couple of cocktails prior then.
Well, why not? Why not? That's Ale and Compass. Let's move around the boardwalk and go to Trattoria Al Forno, which we did for breakfast. The Bon Voyage breakfast.
I literally could not remember what we did. That's why I looked at Shaun. I was like, what did we do there? Which one was that again?
The Bon Voyage breakfast, where you meet Ariel and Eric and Flynn Rider and Rapunzel as characters for breakfast. And again, it wasn't a letdown.
For me, it was. The food was cold.
Your food was cold. It's a big problem with cold food.
I've said it before and I'll say it again. If food's meant to be hot, make it hot. If food's meant to be cold, make sure it's cold. If it's meant to be lukewarm, then make it lukewarm. But do not bring me a hot breakfast cold.
You heard it here. Mine wasn't cold, but it wasn't hot. It was lukewarm, and I had the Trans platter, I think. Can't remember. I'll put it on the screen.
And again, I had the veggie option.
The name of it, but it was good. The Sharon pastries were a little bit stale to us.
They were very stale.
Don't know when they were made.
Cold.
Maybe they were the day or the day or a couple of days old, but they were a little bit stale. And of course they were cold. They're pastries.
No, pastries, if they're fresh, can come out warm.
They would be really, really fresh. But yeah, they weren't the best. But my food was nice. It would have been perfect if it was hotter.
Bottomless coffee was amazing.
Yeah.
The coffee was good, and the server, she was absolutely
The server was
brilliant,
and the characters were fantastic. So if you like those characters, go there. And we also know that the food can be better because our friends have been and said how great they love the food, how much they love the food. So
yeah, I just wonder if it depends on time you go.
Maybe. It was very, very busy when we went. But that, Bon Voyage. And that is all of the restaurants we've done at the Boardwalk and the Yacht Beach Club. The last restaurant we've done in a resort is Boat Rights at Port Orleans Riverside. And we should really go back there because the food was really good, actually. I had, what did I have, jambalaya? Probably. It was a while ago.
I'm sure
and I don't have any video footage of it, but I think it would have, if jambalaya is on the menu, I tend to get jambalaya, so I think it would have been that.
You will have photographs somewhere, but...
If I do, I'll put them on, but I don't think I do. From 2012. The theming in there is fantastic. You've got like a boat from the sea, hanging from the ceiling. It's meant to be the yard where boats are built and repaired and so on. And it's very affordable and a very underrated hidden gem of a table service restaurant. You even enjoyed your food. Can't remember what you had.
I don't. Do you know what it is?
I know she ate it, so therefore she enjoyed it.
This is how bad my memory is due to brain fog and stuff. I don't remember going. I do believe Shaun when he says he had jambalaya, because if jambalaya is on the menu, you would eat it. I know we went, but I don't remember it.
It was that good. So that's all the
But
result.
that says nothing.
No, that's all.
That says nothing.
All the result. So let's move over to Disney Springs now. T-Rex Cafe.
This one was chosen by my mum back in 2012. During the day, she just decided she wanted to go, didn't she? So we went in.
What's not to love? Dinosaurs, meteor showers, great food.
We went in, sat down. I don't even know if we did ask a lot about the size of things, and the girl who it was a girl who was serving me, wasn't it? She gave a lot of advice about stuff, especially because Mum wasn't a big eater, and me not being a big eater, but we still ordered far too much. You got a platter thing, didn't we?
Got a big sharing platter which had like onion rings and all sorts of stuff on there, and it was like the food in here is not fancy. It's not special. It's pub food to us, really, but it was good.
It was good. It was worth it. Tasty. The soup was French onion soup is amazing, and I have a thing for French onion soup. And I love when they put the crouton and the Gruyere cheese and things over, and I couldn't complain about that whatsoever.
I think I liked it in there, the French onion soup as well. And I'm not the biggest French onion soup fan.
Sorry, there's a fly. No, you're not. And my mum thoroughly enjoyed the food. I think did we drink margaritas in there as well?
Probably we drink margaritas most places. So.
And Dad, you liked T-Rex, didn't you?
Yes.
Can you remember what you ate?
No.
We'll have to have a look. There is pictures. I know there is pictures for that. So Shaun will have to take them out because it definitely is.
Steak.
You had steak?
Yeah, probably. T-Rex Cafe at Disney Springs. Recommend going there.
Definitely. Oh, and we used the Landry's card.
No, we didn't. Not in there.
Are you sure we didn't use something?
Yes. We used that in Yak and Yeti, but not there. It is a Landry's restaurant.
We used the Landry's card.
Yep. That's T-Rex Cafe. Where else have we eaten in Disney Springs?
Frontera Cucina.
Frontera Cucina. Cucina.
Cucina.
However you want to say it. Mexicano. Mexican restaurant. Food really good.
Absolutely love that place.
Yeah, it's one of your favourites. 100%.
Yeah. From the food to the drinks to the decor, the service, everything. I couldn't fault it. And they were pretty good with me as well for things that I wanted. You really enjoyed your avocado margarita, didn't you?
I wouldn't say really enjoyed it, but it was nice. You can only have you can only drink one of them, because it's that rich. But I would have other drinks in there.
Spicy
really
margarita.
good choice. Yeah, you had it really spicy.
They put on the salt rim with a spicy hibiscus rim. I highly recommend it. If you're somebody who loves spicy food, then just go for
and
the
spicy
hottest.
drinks.
Yeah, and spicy drinks. Go for everything that's spicy.
And they'll make it hotter if you ask them to
And
as well.
I did tell them I liked it hot, and they were saying, "Are you sure?" And I said, "Yes." I said, "So give us the hottest you give us," and they did. It was absolutely lovely.
Yeah.
And
Nachos were good.
Yeah, nachos were great. Dad thought he was having something, and he kept saying that he was getting something, but he didn't get what he thought he was getting.
Yeah.
Was it mash?
I don't know.
Right.
These firecracker prawns were really good. I had the carne asada,
Yeah, carne asada.
which was just the food. I don't know why we've never been back. The food, it was really good. Really
You can
enjoyed
do
that.
it as a
Quick service
quick
on the back.
service as well. I don't know, every time I ask to go back, you want to go somewhere else. I don't know why, because we had such a good time. We laughed,
We're gonna go back.
and the food was good. And we didn't come away from there with one complaint at all.
Yeah, I agree.
Not one.
I agree.
Cost was reasonable.
There are 2 more restaurants at Disney Springs, table service, not non-signature, that we've eaten at. The Edison, we've done 3 times? We've done the Edison 3 times.
Really? Is it? I thought it was only 2.
Yeah, 3 times. Lunch and dinner. The food in there is really good. I think it's the same people who run like Via Napoli and so on. But it's really just good food in there. We've never seen the entertainment, and we would like to see it at some point. Deviled eggs are brilliant in there.
However,
The cocktails are brilliant.
Our last visit, the food was a bit of a letdown for you.
Yeah, but we were flying home that day, so I don't know if that had an impact on how we perceived things. But yeah, the food generally speaking, is really good. The grilled cheese is fantastic. The hanging bacon, amazing. Deviled eggs, the sandwiches that me and Tom had. Wow. Although my French dip was good, Tom's sandwich was better. But if you had the burgers in there and a few other different meals as well.
Yeah, one of the issues with the last meal was your puddings.
Yeah.
One of them wasn't set.
Oh yeah, the creme brulee pudding wasn't set. I didn't like the apple crumble pie thing.
Peach cobbler.
Peach cobbler, that was it. Didn't really like that, but I wanted to try it.
And my burger wasn't very nice. It was a burger I had the last time, wasn't
Yeah.
very nice. My food wise, the last visit I had the veggie burger, wasn't impressed at all with it, but all the other visits have been was fine. I had a Greek salad which was lovely, and again they're actually very, very good. If you want a cocktail that's not on their list, they will make one for you.
They'll figure it out and they'll make it.
They made me a habanero.
That was ancho chili and stuff because they didn't have habanero.
No, sorry, that was ancho. Yeah, they made me a spicy margarita, but with whatever they had there at the time, which wasn't on the list.
Edison, good place to try out, and the theming in there, how it looks, the atmosphere is really, really good. Brings us on to the last one, probably my absolute favourite table service non-signature on Disney property is Homecoming. We've done brunch, we've done lunch, we've done dinner, and it's just amazing. That chicken is absolutely out of this world. The deviled eggs are fantastic. The fried green tomatoes are just so good. The hummingbird cake, the moonshine cake, the cocktails, pulled pork. I could go on and on and on. It's just so good.
If you're vegetarian and you eat egg, they will do the deviled eggs without the bacon and for you, so they'll do them separately, which is what they've done for me. Again, the portions are so big, and I've never been able to eat one of the meals yet fully at all, but I've had no complaints over it.
I struggle as well, but always leave room for dessert. You've got to leave room for that hummingbird cake.
He does actually struggle. He does when he's there. He can't eat them either. The service has always been brilliant, but actually the first time we went with Dad, 2 of them were drunk by the end of it because the server was encouraging them to try moonshine and cocktails.
What's wrong with that? You say that like it's a problem.
It was a good night. Weren't you? Pickled in the corner, Father.
Take me back, I'm just thinking about it.
Pickled back moonshine is lovely. What has been your favourite starter that you've had?
It's hard to choose between the deviled eggs and the fried green tomatoes.
And what's been your favourite of the main courses you've had?
Anything with the chicken. Just amazing place.
The funny thing is, one of our last visits, you didn't get chicken.
No, I had beef or something it was, wasn't it? Can't remember. It was just so good. So good. And
the service has been amazing. They've been always lovely, always friendly, always helpful. Cost-wise,
reasonable. It's reasonable. It's not the cheapest place. So that's all the table services that we have done, and our favourites. So Yak and Yeti, Homecoming, Garden Grill. There's my top 3 in no particular order. All fantastic. What are your favourites out of all of those?
Pantera Cucina. Homecoming. Yak and Yeti.
Yak and Yeti. There you go. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to share it. If you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. You know what happens on these videos and how they all work. And we'll see you next time for another video. Keep making memories.